Yeah.
Record it. Everything needs to be recorded. It's recording now.
Yeah. Okay, we're recording now. Hold on, let me just get out of here. Hi, how are you? This is the meeting of the Ethics Committee. Today is June 15th. It is now 8:13 p.m. We apologize for the computer glitch, a little time issue of people getting on board. But here we are, we're getting started. I think, just want to, if I miss you, please, Kenny, you're on. Naomi, Veronica, and Yahe are the board members that are on the Ethics Committee, and they're on, and we have members of the gallery here also. So let me get started with the agenda. Review of May 2021 minutes. Hope you had a chance to review those. It was very short. Motion to approve the minutes. Or does someone else have to say that, or can I say that?
I'll second.
Who was that, Veronica?
That was, yeah, Veronica.
Okay.
Do
Anybody-
all the others- Go ahead, John.
Anybody object or refrain? So minutes passed for approval. Thank you. That's the one. Two, we received two formal complaints during this period since our last meeting. One is from a community board member, one is from a member of the public. We are still reviewing it. We will go into it further once we have an opportunity to dive into it a little bit more. We were looking at different avenues, and the discussion of a cease and desist letter came up as an avenue for addressing certain issues. Again, we are still discussing that as a method to curb some of the things that are going on and addressing some of the issues that were going on in the community board. So again, that's a topic item, and we'll continue to discuss that, and once we get some more clarification on what we can do there. Just a quick thing now, as a matter of formality, do we typically go into executive? If we requested executive session, is there a certain period of time? Is there a time to do it, or can we do it at any point during the agenda?
I think it should be towards the end if you want to just finish the normal business. And then we can do it at the end, just in case members of the public don't want to wait until the end.
Okay, you got it. That sounds good. So I think we can move on to the gallery session. We have members of the public. There's no particular order, so if somebody wants to start.
Hello. Yes, I'd like to start first. I would like for the record to announce my name is Roxanne Delgado, and I have certain issues I'd like to address at the Ethics Committee Board tonight. First, regarding how to deal with members of the public, I will first ask you to look in the mirror and how to deal with members of this committee board that tends to make very derogatory and insensitive remarks towards the public and at the meeting. So let's look in the mirror first before you decide to curtail First Amendment rights in a chat room, especially when what I said was true, but I'm not going to repeat it here. Second issue, the Ethics Committee complaint form. I sent you emails, Mr. Johnson, several times, which you just tend to ignore. First, that form is encrypted, so I can't even be emailed without getting a malware warning. Second, whoever created that form did it as a fill-in form, meaning that it doesn't do word wrap. Meaning that every time I type on a line, the words just get smaller. It doesn't go to the next line unless I press return, which makes editing and copying and pasting much more difficult. And I asked you to look at it, but you just ignore it. Lastly, I'd like to bring an issue because I'm going to make lots of complaints now because I'm tired of this committee board making rules as they go along for different people. We were all created equal. We are all under the Bill of Rights the same. you should treat people the same manner. All rules apply to everybody, whether you're on the board, off the board, whether you're black, white. All rules must apply to everyone. Otherwise, no rules should be applied to anyone. Now, regarding conflict of interest, you have a community board member who's running for city council. She received donations from certain individuals who are on the board and off the board, and she had not only voted on issues related to those donors, but she also even advocated for street namings and other issues, and that's a conflict of interest. And believe me, I'm going to make a big complaint about that. Going forward, she should not be making any decision or voting on any matters while she's still an active candidate for city council, because that is a conflict of interest. Anyhow, thank you for your time.
Can you hear me, John? Hello?
I guess,
Sorry,
okay.
Robert, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Robert. Sorry.
Okay, I've just put up in the chat room what Mr. Lucania has sent me. That your executive board meeting, pardon me, your executive session at the last general board meeting was illegal. Take time to read it. I'm sure you're going to get notified if you haven't already from Mr. Lucania. I just received it about 45 minutes ago. Okay, so what was discussed in that executive session? What vote was taken? And that has to now be made public since it was an illegal or an improper executive session.
Respond to that. We did receive the letter from Tom over at the Borough President's office. I had a brief discussion with him. We got the letter pretty late in the day, and as a matter of recourse, I don't know what recourse there is. I don't know if it warrants the minutes or the decisions to be made public. I will inquire about that and confirm before we do anything. Again, we got the letter very late. We are going to talk to Tom and see how to remedy the situation.
There's no, you have to make it public. If you had an illegal executive session, you have to make what?
Robert, here's my answer. We're going to discuss it with the Borough President's office, and we will do what is required with their guidance. So we fall under them. We have to get, I appreciate your input in it, and I don't know if you're right or you're wrong. I'm not here to say that, but we need to follow the guidance of the Borough President's office, and we'll be following up.
John, the reason I filed the complaint with the Borough President's office was I have sat on a Law, Rules, and Ethics Committee for 6 years. And I would believe I know what the rules are. And that's why I complained.
I'm sure you do. But you understand, as a matter of procedure, I must seek guidance from them and get guidance from them in order to do my duties. So I appreciate your help. Okay.
I think one of our people here should know what that was said at that meeting.
I wasn't at the meeting. Again, I will request information and guidance from the Borough President's office, and we will make proper remedy as suggested by them.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. If I was that person, I would sue the community board and its members who were at that meeting, because the members are liable to be sued. I will tell you that from my experience on Community Board 8. The land use chair was sued because he made a decision that was illegal. And you people had an illegal meeting and probably discussing somebody's character. And that person, if I was them, I would sue the board.
Thank you, Robert. Anything else?
Nope, not now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next person.
Mr. Johnson, there was no response to my concern. Will it be just ignored, like all my concerns brought up to this meeting and other meetings?
You mostly state things that I have no. I mean, you members of the public should. This is your members of the public should act the same way. The board members should act that way. I don't know what response you expect from that. Let me talk. You said that the members of the public are expected to act a certain way and the board should act that same way. Agreed. I don't see a discrepancy there. Okay, agreed. Let's move on. That's a statement.
No, I didn't say that. I said rules should apply whether you,
Okay,
I didn't
it
say how
does.
you,
It does.
it doesn't, because
Okay,
just like,
we're not going to go back and forth.
see,
It
you
does
shut me
and it
down every
should.
time I speak. Every time I want to say something, you shut me
But you're
down.
saying
And
the same thing. I don't want to go
it's
back
not-
and forth with
it's
you.
not saying how you act. I'm saying rules should apply to everyone. I didn't say how people should act. How people
Agreed.
should act is not.
Rules should apply to everyone.
You
Agreed.
can't control how people act, but you could control how the rules are applied. And that's why I said rules should apply to everyone similar. I didn't say anything about how people should act. You're changing my words, and that's a big difference. And
Okay.
second, what about the ethics complaint form? Again, you cannot really use it. It's encrypted and it's a fill-in form, meaning that it doesn't provide you to able to copy and paste a paragraph. You have to type line by line, and it doesn't do word wrap. You have to enter each line. So when you do
Right.
editing,
So, Ms. Delgado, we have to investigate what you're saying, because I was able to use the form. I have people that I know were able to use the form. So we need to investigate what you're saying, and we will look into it.
well, I sent Mr. Johnson a screenshot of it, and I even sent him a video, and I don't know what the investigation
So,
is.
Ms. Delgado, I will tell you, it's not a perfect form, but it's usable. And when I sent you your response, I said you're not mandated to use the form. If it does not work for you, then you can complete it via email as long as you have the proper information. And you have made several requests outside of that, not using forms. So if you're not mandated to use the complaint form for us to review a complaint, it's a suggested item. But as long as you provide the information that's on the form in any media manner that you wish, you can do that. So
But
the
what-
form, the issues with the form, you know, I've asked about encryption. They said that's the way it is. That's the way the PDFs are set up. We're not, you know, there's limitations of technology and the wraparound. It's what the city gives us to use. You can tab or you can enter and go to the next line. I can appreciate that you can't cut and paste into it. So if that's the case, you can says please see attach and attach your form or put it in the form of an email. That's all.
Yeah, let me clarify, because you make some. What form have I used outside? You just made a false accusation. You said I used other forms outside. Well, I
But we
never
also have a
used.
FOIL form. We also have other forms, and you don't have to always use the form. Again,
No.
this is one avenue. This is one avenue to get what you need. I don't understand if one media does not work for you. You have plenty of other options.
First of
Please
all,
use one of them.
okay, Mr. Johnson, let me clarify, because I hate when people misrepresent. By law, there's a FOIL law that doesn't mandate people could send FOIL requests by email, so people are
There
not
you go.
mandated.
There you go.
But second, Mr. Johnson, stop, please. I would like a little respect. I remember when Diane Finch sent you a complaint by email, and you said that it was ignored because she didn't use the form.
Absolutely not. I addressed the complaint.
I recall you saying I could give you the recording.
You know, I'm sure you'll go look it up somewhere, but
I will.
right now, I got the form. I got it late, and I remember addressing it with Diane, and I hope it was resolved to Diane's satisfaction. If not, she can reach out to me.
You said her complaint
If
was
Diane,
ignored.
if there's an issue with Diane, she can reach out to me.
I'm not talking about her issue. I'm saying that I heard you telling her her complaint was ignored because she didn't use the form.
I never said her
email.
complaint was ignored. I never said her complaint.
I'll
I'm gonna
send the
stop
recording.
this dialogue with you because again, I don't ignore anything. I don't appreciate that, but I did address the issue with Diane, and that issue was resolved.
Okay, and
as
the
far as
last issue I brought up was the conflict.
Diana with an A on the end. Thank you.
I'm
last
sorry,
conflict-
Diana.
The last
Sorry.
conflict of interest was that we have an active member of the board who's running for city council and is receiving donation from members on and off the board. And there's a conflict of interest there. So I think she should be recused from the next month's meeting or from this month's last month meeting, because there is a conflict of interest. And she even used association letter without their approval. So there's actually more to this than what saying regarding her voting and advocating for something. She actually had even gone further by using a letterhead without the approval of her board. So, you know, I would ask you to at least ask her to recuse herself from this month's full board meeting, because there is a conflict of interest.
We will request advice from the borough president's office on that,
Okay,
and we'll make
thank you.
decisions. Okay.
Hi, this is Sergio. I sent Jeremy a PDF form outlining some suggestions or ideas to help promote transparency and accountability with the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. I don't know if you guys received the email with the PDF. I'll just list them. Define what is a complaint, or what kind of complaint you guys review. So I gave two definitions of the types of how you may define that. So you can actually say submitting the formal report is a complaint. Or you can say a complaint is an expression of dissatisfaction about XYZ. But it's important that you guys define exactly what a complaint is. Define what a complaint is not, or what kind of complaints you guys don't review. I know you guys had on the end of the form, it does briefly talk about the EEOC. But I think it's valuable to say the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee is not authorized to investigate complaints or allegations related to employment discrimination, sexual harassment, misconduct, conflict of interest violations, hate crimes, right? And then say, if the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee receives a complaint that alleges violations of X, the committee will, what are you guys gonna do? Are you guys gonna notify the complainant? And are you guys gonna forward, provide a referral to the other city or state agencies that may be able to assist that person? I think that that's important. Also, the committee should make every effort to reach an informal resolution between both parties. This is good. This is being a good community member, a good board, right? Always work toward informal resolution. Be mindful that that your constituents in Community Board 11, so among those that are 25 years and over, 27.5% in Community Board 11 have a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to 37% in New York State and 33% in the US. What am I trying to infer? Is that you should always try to make things as clear and as transparent as possible. So using bullets and numbering, it's easier to read. And most of the time, things that are easier to read are easier to understand. And I think that that wouldn't be a big ask of this committee. 5, the subject of the complaint should be labeled or identified as the respondent. I don't, I know that conflicts with something I'm going to say next, but I think it would be important to identify give that person a title or name in the same way that a complainant is given a title or name. It also says, unless the complainant chooses to be anonymous, they must attend the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee meeting. I'm paraphrasing. However, quote, failure to attend may result in an outright dismissal. So if I choose to remain anonymous, does that mean that I'm not required to attend an Ethics and Disciplinary Committee? And if so, does that mean that my case may be dismissed if I remain anonymous? I think that should be clarified. At no time during the hearing may a complainant refer to the subject of the complaint by name, or reveal the identity, or make comments, that reveal the identity of the subject. So it's common, right, that there's no privacy interest in statements made during public portions of meetings of public bodies. And it would also be inconsistent with First Amendment rights, open meetings law, freedom of information law, with the exception of those exemptions made by state law. Consider going into an executive session for that. If the complaint is deemed credible enough, right? So how much enough is enough? Who decides what enough is enough? And if that's determined by a vote, then that should be published in the minutes. The subject of the complaint is not obligated to submit a response. Does that serve the interests of transparency or CB11's constituents? I have 2 more, I'm almost done. The person who conducts the disciplinary hearing should not be the same person who carries out the investigation. So if the chair runs the hearing, that person should not participate in the investigation. I think that is something that can easily be accomplished and would serve the interests of the community and transparency. And lastly, the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee should publish the following statistics in the interest of transparency. So stats on the number of complaints received and the number of complaints dismissed, stats on the duration of cases from filing to final determination, and what are the criteria that it uses to refer complaints to other committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marte. We'll take that into consideration. For the interest of making sure that I got all of it covered, you spoke pretty fast. I tried to write as fast as I could. If you can just follow that up with an email to me, maybe, or so I can make sure I capture everything, I'd appreciate that. Do you have my email address?
Yeah, I sent an email to Jeremy with the PDF, so you can. It's already written down. Thank you.
Okay, you got it. Thanks.
Hi, this is Diana Finch.
Hi, Diana.
I just wanted to clarify, since you referenced my process of filing a complaint. The first time I filed the complaint, I did it without using the form. I didn't know about the form. And then I was told to use the form. I had difficulty with the form, including finding the form. My complaint was against members Edith Blitzer, Andrea Siegel, and Hazel Mura for comments and allegations they had made about Curvins and the Curvins owner, Marissa Joy Davis, at both community board meetings as well as at the 49th Precinct Community Council meeting. I felt that the district manager, Jeremy Warnicki, tried to dissuade me from making complaints and dismissed the way in which I had phrased the complaint initially, told me it wasn't right. I don't think there's any such thing as a complaint that's not right. A complaint is a complaint. You can't say to somebody, no, you can't complain about that. I ended up not filing the complaint through the formal complaint form system because in the interim, there was a very thorough news article written about the whole situation, which was included recordings of both the meetings in question. And the article was widely shared and widely read. And I felt that that had brought the issue before the community in a way that was satisfactory. And at least one of the people involved did acknowledge at a later meeting that they were not supposed to speak about Curvens in the way they had been speaking about Curvens, and that they were not supposed to make the allegations, the kinds of allegations they were making. So I felt satisfied, but not about the complaint form. It was just because it had been dealt with in other ways.
Okay.
And I would second what Sergio Marte said about complaints and the complaint form. And everything on the website, I think, should be easier to find. I know people who are interested in attending some of these meetings, members of the community, and they can't figure out where to find the information about when and where the meetings are and what the agendas are. So I hope that that gets improved over time. Thanks.
Thank you, Diana. All right, as far as the complaint form, and it's not the only avenue to issue a complaint. It's for informational purposes, so we capture everything so everybody can provide enough information for us to diligently review every complaint. You don't have to use the form as long as the information on the form, it comes to us in any medium. Please feel free to use that. We will review every complaint. As far as the I'm sorry, the second part was, I was writing it down. CB11 did issue an official statement on Curvens, and that was our decision on that, and I hope that kept going. And what was the last part? You had one more piece of the last part. I know you said you support, you agree with
I
everything
did
Sergio
say
said.
that at various stages, the district manager acted in ways that were trying to dissuade me from making a complaint, from telling me my complaint wasn't properly phrased, it wasn't properly made. In my opinion, he did his best to try to make the whole thing go away, and I don't think that that was appropriate. And I considered filing a complaint about that, but I have not.
Okay. I don't know what to remedy that. You should not dissuade, no one should dissuade anyone from doing what they want to do. And I'm glad you filed. And as far as the webpage, again, we are working with the city of New York. The city of New York is one that covers the webpage, and we're continually fighting and trying to make it better. I know the way that I go to it is I go to the calendar, I see the list of meetings, I click on the meeting, and it brings me right to here. That's how I used it today, and that's how I continue to use it. So if there's something, any member of the public wants to go to the website, you can go to the calendar, look at the list of meetings, click on the meeting you want to attend, or you can see what meetings are scheduled there. You can click on it, the agenda comes on, and it has a very blue, bright button up top that says, would you like to join the meeting? Click on that, and that's what I've been doing. We can look into other ways to make things easier, but that's how it's typically done. Maybe on the front page to say, if you want to see a list of our meetings, look at our calendar. I mean, we can possibly do something like that. I can ask Jeremy to reach out to the city, see if we can create a banner or something.
Yes, I think a banner is a good idea.
I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson. I spent 2 years sending emails to your district manager asking him to send out email notifications to the public because not everyone has access to internet or websites or even know how to navigate through a website. And he refuses to send email notification. Every other community board, including community board 8, 7, 11, and 10, sends out emails notifying of their week or monthly meetings in advance. Why he refuses to send a basic email with the contact information it's just like I think because I asked for it, he refuses to do so. If I make a request, I think a spitefulness or just
Ms. Delgado, I'm not going to go into that, but again, we keep
I'm just
harping
saying
back
an
on the same
email
thing.
notification.
But again,
Email
if you have
notification.
email, it's electronic mail. You need some sort of web-based action to get emails also. So the same web-based action that you get emails, you can get
No,
internet.
people
So I'm not
use
going to
their
go back and forth.
people use their phones to
So
get their emails.
that is the form.
No, but it's different from going to a website as opposed to opening your emails because you don't need to have internet. You could actually just have a phone to open your emails. So that's the difference as opposed to going to a website and looking
So
into
all right,
for
I'm not
the.
going to. Again, okay.
I just don't understand
It
why.
is a forum that's available.
I'm not
It's
talking
the
about forum.
form
I'm
that's
talking about
available that we have now. I suggest.
and second, hello.
Or a phone or something, have it checked.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know what the resolution to it is. I mean, the calendar is available online, and if it's an
I just said
email,
to you,
I mean, you still need it. So
you don't.
I can inquire as to, because these calendars also change. So an email to keep updating on that, it might be difficult. You won't get the latest information, and we'll get a complaint about that. This way, the
You won't get
calendar is
complaint
available. It can be real time.
emails.
Ms.
You already
Delgado,
have.
the calendar is available online.
So
And then
I just don't have no. I don't know why you're so dismissive and hostile towards me, and I don't appreciate that. You just shut me down every
You
time
know
we
what?
speak.
Because I'm not being hostile with you. I'm answering the question. I'm being
You're
respectful. You
shutting
might
me
not
down like
like
you're
what
dismissive.
you're not. Just because you don't agree with what I'm saying or you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean
You don't.
that's what I'm saying. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you just this is the answer that I'm giving you,
It's
and
not
that's
your
what I can
answer.
only
It's you're
do.
dismissing me right away, even before I complete my sentence. Like, oh, right away you make another complaint. Like, oh, we don't like her because she makes complaints. That's not the
I never
point.
said
That's not.
that,
That's
Ms. Delgado.
yeah. Because you'll make
You got
another.
to
If
really listen
people,
to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of that.
you
You
just
can
said
you can
if
review
people
these
send
recordings
emails,
and you can
someone will
hear
complain
very
about it.
clearly I'm not saying any of that. You're interpreting that, and that's unfortunate, and I'm sorry that you feel that way, but
It's
I
not
am
about
not saying any
feelings.
of that. I'm not dismissing it. I'm not dismissing it. I said we can look at a banner on the website. Then you brought up another issue.
Email
I don't
notification.
have an immediate resolution to it. We will look into it.
And also regarding
That's what I
minutes,
can
again,
tell you.
minutes are not being done, and also your district manager refuses to respond as whether minutes are done for the district service cabinet meetings held every month. I sent him 10 emails asking him, do you do minutes for the DSC? All he responds is that they're not public meetings. Sometimes he can't respond with a simple yes or no. So can someone obtain this answer for me? Are minutes taken for the DSC meeting monthly, held monthly? It's not a public meeting. I understand that, but our minutes taken for the district service cabinet meetings held every month at Community Board 11 office. That's all I need, just a yes or no. He spent 10 emails him asking me what I don't have to answer your questions, or he says, I don't think that's nice. Giving me the runaround. Like this is why I said the lack of transparency and the lack of respect, which is why this relationship between me and the Community Board is very hostile. And all you do is retaliate against me. Try any way to get me out of the public meetings, any way to shut me down, any way to slander my name, libel me. It's disgraceful. Believe me, there's other venues where
Okay,
I could
Ms.
seek
Delgado.
recourse. Thank you.
Okay, John, we just have to get past that point. I think
Yes.
reference to
Sorry. Sorry.
DSC meetings, he did respond to you about that, and he has a follow-up due for you, one on June 18th follow-up and June 25th follow-up for your email request. But we have to move on because we're running out of time to continue the other business.
So, Mr. Johnson, very quickly. So I just posted a link to the New York City Council's branding guidelines. I think would serve as or should serve as a model for any improvements you make to CB11's website. I think they are in the interest of accessibility and would also, I think, much more clearly identify those concerns made by other members of the community and also those interests of the board as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That link is not working, by the way.
Mr. Johnson, if I might, if you're not clear on anything, and I hate to do this to you, Yahe, you have the vice chair of the board here that you could ask. I'm sure the vice chair of the board should be knowledgeable in any questions that anyone here has, okay? So if you're not knowledgeable on them, he should be. I am. I'm most certainly knowledgeable on them, but I'm not going to give you my opinion. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
So just a real quick to respond to Yahay, the reason why if you click on the link from within WebEx doesn't work is because WebEx has an automatic filter where it doesn't let you open links from within it. It gives you a disclaimer, but if you copy it to your clipboard and paste it on Google Chrome, it should work perfectly fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry guys, I lost my place in this WebEx thing. All right, any new business? Anybody else left to say anything? I'm sorry. Gallery session's done.
1 second, can I still file complaints even during the summer? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
So I'm still able to.
yes, you can. But I don't know what the
All right.
meeting schedule is for the summer.
No worries, I have plenty. Thank you.
Okay. New business. Old business. Okay. I move to go into an executive session under section D, discussion regarding proposed pending or current litigation. So to be honest, I don't know how to go into executive session on this. I'm gonna have to quickly text Jeremy to come
Mr.
on.
Johnson, you have 2 items to review, and then you have a 3rd item. Which one are you going into?
I'm sorry.
And why?
All right. Look, I got guidance from the borough president's office today. They said I can go into executive session and explain why. The reason we're going to executive session is to discuss. It's a discussion regarding proposed, pending, or current litigation. It's proposed litigation.
Against the board or against the member?
Again, we're going into executive session to discuss that.
You have to
So I
specify.
think what Mr. Press is trying to get at is that under the open meetings law, there is a requirement that you have to make that motion with particularity. So it can't just be that you repeat the same language that's embedded in the open meetings law. You have to plead it with particularity. So going to litigation regarding a member of the community, discussing
Right, but
litigation
remember, law is interpretive, right? So
no, but
Th-
no.
that's not, there's
the co-
a gray area here. So
No, but the committee
there's
on
no-
open meetings made very clear that it has to be pled with particularity, and it can't just be repeating the same language that's in the law, in the public office
absolutely,
law.
but this is the basis of the meeting is what John's just stated. That's the base. We have to discuss it.
So again, discussing any further will compromise the litigation, make us liable for other things. So we were told that we can go into executive session by stating this and without getting us into any liability or compromising the potential litigation. I can't discuss it any further until we go into executive session.
You have the vice chair here. He can speak. Yahe, what is this about?
He is correct. We did speak with the VP's office, and that's the guidance we received, that we can go into executive session.
I'll just make another
based
complaint,
on one
and
of
I
the
want
items.
this public, that's all. All right?
We'll
I'll tell you that.
You have to specify. You have to specify. You can't make it broad.
We don't have to specify.
I have to say if it's
No.
against the district
It's clear.
manager, against the board member, or the board. One of those 3 items. I've been through these executive sessions, Yahe.
Okay. Right now, we were advised that we can go to executive session under this guise. If there's anything further, then we'll follow it up with that. So we were given guidance to do this specifically. I'm not going to
So
vary.
you're
from
not
that,
making
but it
any
came from
reason why you're going into executive session.
to discuss Where is it? I'm gonna read it
It
again.
has to be pending.
There's a
lawsuit
discussion
against
regarding
a board
proposed,
member,
pending, or
the
current
board,
litigation.
or the district manager.
I'm sorry?
You have to state pending
No,
litigation.
we don't.
against the board,
Unless, no,
board member,
you know
or
what?
the
That's not
district
the
manager.
guidance I was given. That was not the guidance I was given. So I'm gonna follow the guidance I was given. And with our governing entity, which is our borough president's office, when we asked about it, and
That's
they
not the
said,
governing
as
entity.
long as-
He has to check with the open meetings law. Okay, he has
all
to
right,
check.
we were given guidance. The community board is given guidance by the borough president's office. In order not to make an error again, we asked specifically. They said we can go into it, and if they ask for, there's a reason to be given, it's a discussion regarding proposed, pending, or current litigation. Anything more that I give you could be a liability and can compromise the litigation, which we will
I'm
be
sure it's
liable
against
for.
board members.
So therefore, we're
telling
not
you
going
what
to
it
go
is.
into it.
I know what it is.
Also,
Okay,
is
that's
there,
great,
is,
Robert.
is there,
So
I apologize. Is
I
there
gotta get-
counsel?
I gotta get it.
Who is counsel? That is it? I don't see anyone other than individuals of the board present at this meeting, so I don't see any counsel here present in
We
terms
do not
of.
have counsel. We don't have counsel at these ethics meetings. We don't regularly have counsel, but we do take direction from the borough president's office. And prior to this meeting, we asked for direction. This is a direction we were given.
But if you're discussing litigation, right, and you're going into executive session for discussing litigation, I imagine that you would that counsel would be present because that would be the appropriate person to discuss matters of litigation, correct?
But according to the open meetings law, discussions regarding proposed, pending, or current litigation are exceptions to open meeting. So we do not have to discuss with you anything about litigation or pending or any proposed litigation.
Oh no, I'm not asking. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to, are you being represented by counsel, and is counsel present at this meeting currently?
There's no need for counsel at this meeting. We're discussing a matter. We need to further discuss it with counsel. At that point, we will do that.
No, there isn't. But you see, the point is, you're going to discuss item number 3 also in executive session.
All right, Robert, you're making assumptions or whatever. I'm not gonna,
But you don't know what we're going to
nothing
talk.
is really
Are
happening.
you?
Understand?
To go to the
Fine,
executive
I'm asking, are you going to discuss item 3 along with item 2 in executive session?
We're going to discuss.
We need to have the discussion first.
We're going to discuss. There's a discussion regarding a proposed, pending, or current litigation. That's what we're going to discuss, and
So
that's
you're
why we're
not
going to
discussing
executive
item
session.
3 then in executive session?
Again, I don't understand. Again, we are going to discuss. There's a discussion regarding a proposed, or pending, or current litigation. I did not say anything about item number 3.
Fine, I'll put it in the chat then what you're doing.
So just a
Right.
reminder, just a reminder that I think it would be, just to remind you, I'm sure you guys know the rules. Keep in mind that any votes that you guys take, those should be recorded, because those are part of the public record. Thank you.
And will we be put in the waiting room, or would we thrown out of the public meeting again like the last time?
So
I'm
technically-
trying to figure it out. I apologize. This is the first time I'm doing it. Jeremy's getting on to help me go into executive session the proper way. Jeremy,
Yeah,
are
so-
you on?
I'm here, Rob. I figured out how to put people in the waiting room.
It's
Okay,
in
great.
the chat already, John.
So, John, you're calling from a phone, it looks like. Is there anybody on the committee that wants to learn how to
I'm
do
sorry.
this?
I'm sorry. Can I just interrupt for one quick second? I joined late because I didn't realize I was joining the wrong link. So I just want to put it out there. And I know this is completely out of the blue and has nothing to do with what you guys are talking about, but I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry.
Okay, is there anybody that wants to, I mean, I know Yahe, if he's in, he's familiar with how to do this. I mean, I know how to do it now too. If anybody wants to, on the job training, so to speak. Otherwise, I'll just do it and then I'll jump out of the meeting and you have to tell me when you want me back in.
Jeremy, I'd like to know how to do it just in case.
All right, so I'm gonna make you the host fee.
All right, Jeremy, do you want to put us into executive session so we have this discussion?
Did you guys vote?
I'm sorry?
Did you guys vote on executive session?
No, do we need to? Do we want to go into executive
Yeah,
session?
you have to. Yes, you have
There
to
has
vote.
to be a motion.
Jeremy, there is something else you need to know. There is no reason for you for why. It's just, oh, we're going in because of possible litigation.
Okay. So, I mean, it's up to the committee to handle it how they want. I mean, if they think they have a valid reason, that's on them. So, so I would keep the gallery comments to gallery session. Did you already handle that, or? I mean,
Yes, we went through the
John?
whole thing. We didn't want people who didn't want to wait while we were in executive session, so.
Jeremy, since I put it in the chat, I know one of them is the lawsuit by Curvins.
Okay, so all right, so
Let's just go
Bob,
into
can you please
executive
refrain
session.
from
Right, but I think
speaking?
we need to
Throwing
stop
things at
going
the
back
wall.
and forth and let's
Yeah.
take the vote and let's go into executive session, please.
So
I second.
just real quick, can I read a portion of the open meetings law or of one of the committee decisions or recommendations? So based upon the foregoing, I believe that the exception is intended to permit a public body to discuss its litigation strategy behind closed doors, rather than issues that might eventually result in litigation, since quote unquote legal matters or possible litigation could be the subject or result of nearly any topic discussed by a public body, and an executive session could not, in my view, this is the Committee on Open Meeting, on Open Government, be held to discuss an issue merely because there's a possibility of litigation or because it involves a legal matter. So, I'll
But
provide.
there's several, no, there's more to the.
Again,
vote
that's
to open law.
noted.
So
That's
let's,
noted. Again, we're
yes,
not going to
please.
discuss why, this is the reason we're going into executive session. We're not going to discuss anything
And
further.
it states right here, we can vote and then we can go. Yeah.
So, and I guess it's just to, I guess, help you guys out, right? It's insufficient to merely regurgitate the statutory language. Discussions regarding proposed or current litigation. This boilerplate recitation does not comply with the intent of the statute. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jeremy.
Did you vote?
We have to vote. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I move to executive session.
Second?
You have to say why. You have to give the reason.
Yeah, the reason he stated, John stated, it's,
All right, so let me do it formally. I guess let me do it formally. They're right. Let me do it formally. I move to move into executive session to discuss a matter regarding proposed pending or current litigation.
second, or I.
Kenny seconded it. Any discussion by the board members, not the public? Any against or any abstentions? So John, I would say that's unanimous, unless somebody can't unmute themselves.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to, Veronica, so you got control of the meeting. So at the very top of your screen, you see where it says participant,
Yeah.
top tab, click on it.
Yep.
See where it says lock the meeting?
Under
At
the
the bottom?
public. No, it doesn't give me that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Click on meeting to the right of that. Click on the meeting to the right of that.
Okay, lock meeting. Okay.
Lock the meeting.
Meeting is locked.
Okay. So do you have your list of participants on the right?
Yes.
So start right clicking on them. You can see move to lobby.
The lobby. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start moving people to lobby just so everyone knows. Okay, all I have left is myself, Jeremy, Edith, John, Kenny, Naomi, and Yahe.
So just for the record, I think Ellie Rodriguez is part of the committee too. So I made an error when I said you only had one member of the committee missing at the time. But that aside, I'm jumping out of the meeting. The only thing you have to do, Veronica, when you're ready to let everybody back in,
Uh-huh.
you unlock the meeting.
All right,
For
so just go
everybody
back
who's
to
in,
the meeting, click unlock meeting. Okay.
yeah, when you unlock the meeting, everybody's automatically thrust back into the meeting.
Okay. And John, I believe you should stop recording for executive session, right?
Yeah, you need to stop recording.
So
Stop.
pause it, basically.
You should be able to do that too, Veronica.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna pause the recording.
Yes.
Recording is resumed. We are out of executive session. Time is 9:22 p.m.
Okay, thank you. We just had executive session. We discussed a pending legal matter and the resolution, but we decided we needed further guidance from other governing agencies, and that's what came out of it. So we're going to ask for guidance from other governing agencies on the matter we discussed.
Is there a vote taken on this? I'm sorry.
No.
Mr. Johnson, one question for you. Does this affect the entire board?
It was a legal matter that we're discussing, and I can't go into detail without further counsel.
If
I don't want to.
if it affects the entire board, you had no right to go into executive session. The entire board had to. I'm just letting you
Again,
know.
I'm not going to discuss that with you. Again, unless I get counsel, I'm not going to discuss that. I didn't say it was or it wasn't. I'm just not going to discuss that until I get further guidance. Okay, unless there's anything else.
Oh, sorry. Question. Is this committee particularly, have you guys retained counsel from the city? Just,
We're going to get further guidance from other governing agencies and see what we need to do next.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I have one last comment, please. I'd like to say that Committee Board 11 cannot weaponize the code of conduct to target specific persons. If they're going to implement this code of conduct, it has to apply to all, not to those that they want to target, just to remove them from public discussions because they don't like what the person has to say or they just don't have personal bias. So the code of conduct must apply to all and they cannot be arbitrary. And second, I would like a response to my question, please. Is the monthly DSC minutes done monthly or not? Yes or no? Just a yes or no. I've been asking for 5 weeks now, and I can't receive a direct response from this manager. So if anyone can answer that question for me, I'll be much appreciated.
I don't have anything to do with the DSC minutes, so I can competently answer that question.
I can answer that. I can answer that question.
No, about press. No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking Committee Board 11, please.
They don't know, obviously.
No, please, Mr. Press, please.
All right.
Mr. Johnson, can you
Again.
obtain that response, please?
Mr. Press, I would like to know what is your thoughts?
Oh my God, this Naomi's too much.
Yeah, I am, aren't I? Please
District
do not be
manager
disrespectful to
is
me. Thank you.
District manager
Yes.
is supposed to make up these minutes every month, and they're supposed to be made public.
Okay, so we will look into that. And thank you for letting us know. And we will
But
look into it.
I actually knew that. But the point was, I wanted the
Oh,
district
you knew
manager
that.
to
So
respond.
why are you
Yes,
asking? Yeah. Why are
because
you
the
asking?
All right.
First of all, district manager is not doing the minutes, and he refuses to admit that. That's the problem.
Okay. Guys, we're going in circles. We'll find the answer to the DSC meeting minutes.
I would
We can
appreciate
ask
an
and see
answer. I've been
what the
asking for
answer is.
5 weeks for Community Board.
Okay, we don't have an answer for. I think we're talking about. We don't have an answer. We will find the answer and get back to you. We don't have any answer right now.
So if I send you an email tomorrow, I'll receive a response.
I don't have the answer. And I can't guarantee I'll have the answer tomorrow morning. I will inquire about the answer and get it to you when I get the answer.
Okay, because it's been 5 weeks and counting.
When I get the answer, I'll relay it to you.
Got it.
All right. How do we do? Motion to.
Mr. Johnson, what about item number 3 on the agenda? You said you were not going to discuss that in executive session.
I don't understand. Again, I don't understand that it was on the agenda. It's something that we're looking into. Again, we discussed a pending legal matter in executive session.
Items you said you were not going to mention in executive session.
I don't know. I don't understand you. I don't understand your question.
I asked you before you
You
went
said I
into
wasn't going to
executive
mention
session,
it.
if you're going to discuss item 3, and you said, no, we're just discussing item 2, legal pending matters. Okay, so are you going to discuss item 3?
No,
No? Any reason?
I don't understand. I don't understand your question. We said that we're still talking about that, and we will have further on that.
So,
That's
Again,
not an
Johnson,
answer to the
Mr.
question.
Johnson,
I'm not Robert. I'm not going to go into what we discussed in the executive
Johnson,
session.
this
It'll
committee
no.
is just totally incompetent. I'll say that for the
Right,
record.
you know what?
Mr. Johnson, just to help you out, you're actually not obligated. You are under no obligation to answer questions of the public. Just so you know, just to help you out a little bit, because I know you're being pushed up against the wall here. But yeah, you're not obligated to answer questions from the public.
I'm not here to look. I'm a volunteer that comes in and help my community do something good. I spend more time getting pelted on things. My intention was never to come on this and be under the scrutiny. I just want to help. But there are certain people that have agendas, and then it's like, wow, is this what this community board is about? Is it about just like obviously just pointing out things that just over and over? I'm sure everybody does things wrong. I'm sure there's things wrong with the community board. But you know what? We have good intentions. We want to help people. I do. So when I have to get pelted with questions what other people are doing, why is this and why is that? It takes away from the positive things that I want to do. I would rather much spend time on addressing issues. Yes, I do. But you know what? It just feels like, I'm really considering leaving because
Well,
this
I
is not,
agree. I
you know,
second
this
that,
is
John.
not.
well, I volunteer all the time.
I don't want to do this. You know what?
I
Yeah, but you know
volunteer.
what? You know what, John? Can I be very blunt? The public needs to understand that we are members of the community as well, and we are trying to help our community. And it doesn't mean that if you know an answer to a question, that you're going to ask us the question to kind of put us out here on a table and say, got you got the wrong answer. We are trying to help the community, and we should be respected, not pelted with questions, not got you. We are trying to abide by the rules that we are set forth by the borough president's office.
Well, I
You know?
volunteer all the time, and I'm not seeking any gratitude for everything I do for my community. I just do it for out of the goodness of my heart. But at the same
I'm not
time,
wait, let me stop you right there. I am not looking for gratitude from the community.
not-
I'm looking
I
for
didn't say that.
respect. I'm looking for
never said-
respect.
I don't
And
recall
we're not getting that.
respect goes both ways, and when you have a district manager that continues retaliating and slandering
Again, Roxanne,
somebody,
we keep going. You have an agenda. You don't like Jeremy. We understand you don't like.
what is my agenda is. My agenda is the community board is not open to all members of the public, especially if you're a woman of color. When you have a unity party, unity rally,
Really,
Ms.
really,
Delgado, Ms.
let's not go down
Delgado,
that road. There's plenty
Ms.
of
Delgado, Ms. Delgado.
Veronica, are you not a woman of color? Come on, Naomi.
I am a woman of color.
on.
I'm proud of it.
I am
I'm a woman of
Hispanic.
color.
I am Latina. I am a woman of color.
first of all, I'm not
All
talking
right,
about board
so
members. I'm
please.
talking about public members. And it seems
Yeah.
like
So
if
what's
not-
the difference? We treat everybody equally no matter
No, you
what.
don't. You
So
shut
please,
me
we're not
down
gonna go down that road.
every
Again,
time.
guys,
Every
we're
time
not-
brings,
we're
and
not
now
gonna-
you're
I'm
saying
not-
that I have an
I'm not gonna do
agenda.
this.
So now
I'm
you're
not
accusing
gonna
me
do
of
this.
having
I'm
an
not-
agenda. My
Can
agenda
we
is
ever
anything
have
else?
a
to make this
meeting
meeting
where
open
Okay,
to the
there's
public.
okay. No.
Again.
And I'm stopping this because
I want to thank the
tired of it.
board. I want to thank the
I'm tired
board,
of it.
though. I'll say
Cannot
thank you
be
to the board.
arguing like this.
Thank you,
This is
guys.
Thank you,
ridiculous.
Sergio.
Thank you,
But
guys.
when you
This
have-
is ridiculous.
I'll say thank you.
You have to have more transparency. You can't have backdoor discussions. Well,
Look, there's never a positive thing. I feel like an abuse victim every time I come to these
Now
meetings.
you're playing the victim.
It's
The
like
purp-
Jesus.
It's funny that people are
Come
perpetrating
on,
and
do
become the
something
victim.
positive. Go do something positive. Say do you know what? Help
John,
the board.
just
Instead
stop.
You know
of
how
just
many
John,
times
please.
do you have
John,
any
just
idea how many
stop.
positive things I do?
It's like
Please, let's
come
stop.
on.
This
Jeez, at
is
some
not
point.
personal.
Do you know how much positive things I do for the community? I don't need to list them here.
Well,
Can we
not
stop,
here.
please? I'm asking Roxanne, please stop. John,
I can't.
please stop.
Someone makes false accusation. I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to be liable, slander
I
in public.
understand that, but this is not what this is about.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I don't know what else
We're
to say.
going in the wrong direction here.
Well, I'm not going to be silent when someone berates me or slanders or libels me. I'm going to defend my. I do a lot of good things for the
I
community.
think finally somebody else said something when you do that.
I'm sorry, what?
Can
Finally,
we
we
stop,
said something
please?
when you do that. That's all you do.
Do what?
Berate, slander,
What?
libel, everything else, please.
What
And
have
it's
I
the truth.
slandered?
Nobody ever said anything negative about you. Come on. We try to be as
Okay.
respectful as possible, but I wish you're exactly right. The way we treat the community is the way the community is supposed to treat us, and we treat you with respect. I do. Why are you attacking me? I've never said anything
No, you
negative
don't.
about
You always dismiss me. You always dismiss me. And even when I
Well,
did follow questions, you
No,
dismiss
I'm
me,
not
and then you make
dismissing you. You
He
don't
has
like my
acknowledged
answer.
you every
Wait, I
time
can't
you've
speak to
spoken.
two
You don't
people
like
at
my
once.
answer, and
No,
it
you don't
it
give an
doesn't work
answer.
that way.
You
I'm not dismissing
dismissive.
you when
You
you
don't
don't like
give
my
an answer. You're
answer.
dismissive, and then you respond. Oh, she'll make another complaint. She'll make another. Maybe you should look at the reason why I'm making complaints. Perhaps you can make the changes where there's no need to make complaints. Instead of being so close-minded, perhaps let's deal with the root of the problem.
Again,
How
I'm
the
not
community board is
closed-minded.
run.
Again, did I call you closed-minded?
No, I said instead
Again,
of
you're
being
attacking me.
close-minded.
Why am I closed-minded? How do you know
You're
I'm
attacking on your
closed-minded? Do you know what I do?
No, when
That's your
you
opinion. You know what?
dismiss
Keep it
me,
to yourself. Don't call me closed-minded. I'm not closed-minded.
then
Why
deal
you?
with
Why, did I
then
say
why
Did I
not?
say anything derogatory to you in any way that addresses your character?
No, you
And
say
all you do is
constantly.
derogatory. Come
I
on.
just
I
want
want
to
to
put
thank
the
you guys for
truth.
your time. Have a good evening,
Okay,
guys.
thank
Thank
you for
you.
but there's
Sergio,
no need
thank
for
you.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
We're
All
just
right,
trying
guys.
to
I
express
think, okay,
interest.
I
All
don't
right.
think this is not
I think
productive.
let's just
Arguing
end this
back and
here.
forth is not
Again, we're not
Well,
going
it was
back
just
and
like a
forth on
response to my DSC question. That's all.
okay. And John stated that email him and he will respond to you when he
Because
gets an
I've been
answer.
emailing the DM for 5 weeks and no response.
I understand your frustration. He will get
Thank
back
you.
to you.
I
Thank you.
just appreciate that understanding instead of just going back and forth telling me I don't do anything positive. I want to quit from the board meeting. I mean, don't play the victim. We're all trying to get things done.
What is it she's trying to change?
All right, let's you know what? We're going in circles. I'm just going to end of it.
John,
Yeah, we have to stop. This is
John,
not
let me just say
productive.
good night to you. I appreciate all of you, except it's that the East Side boards, the two East Side boards, are very lax and are not. I was on board 8. Okay, we did things by the book, so I know how to do things. That's the only reason that I'm critical of this board and board 10. Okay, because they're not going the right way. That again, you guys went into executive session at your May meeting when you shouldn't have, and I
All
did
right,
my
Robert, we
thing.
discussed that, and when the
All right, but I'm just
borough
saying.
president's office said that, why did we keep going? It's done. It's a
Just
it's
ask
beat the
Yahweh.
dead horse.
I've
All
been
right, we
advising
appreciate it.
Yahweh
Thank you.
on
We're all,
John,
you're right. You're absolutely
John,
They
right.
are
we're
trying to
going,
help.
we're going around in circles. I'd like to make a motion to
Exactly.
adjourn.
Good night.
Exactly. I make a motion to adjourn. It's 9:35. I mean, motion to adjourn, 9:35.
I
Well,
seconded.
I vote in favor of it.
Motion to
Right.
adjourn. by
Thank you.
Ms.
Everybody have a good
Seconded.
night.
Have a good night,
Have a
everyone.
good night.
Have a good night.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.